Chapter 9, Lesson 1, Surface Area of Prisms. Today we're doing Day 2, where we're going to work on a specific type of prism, a triangular prism. Again, remember, in our standards, we're talking about how we can use formulas or nets to solve for surface area. So we're going to see that again. So as we take a look at our lesson, again, we're talking about surface area, where the definition is the area of all the surfaces, or the area of the bases, the main shape, and the lateral faces. In class, I'll be showing you triangular prisms, but I cannot do that with the video, so we just continue on here. We talk again. We're just going to find all of the area of each face, of each side. So lateral surface area, just like we talked about in the previous lesson, lateral faces, those are the side faces. Those are the ones going side to side. Again, you can make the comment on there. We're not going to learn a new formula. We're just going to take our formula and make sure there are no bases. The main shape is discluded, like there's something cut off on one end and the other. So that's what we talk about lateral surface area. When we talk about triangular prisms, we're still on a prism. So you can see up here, we've got, again, what's called a net. So if you could just sneak that word on in here quick. A net is a 2D, a flat drawing. So we could take this shape and cut it out and piece it back together, and it would make it into this, a triangular prism. We've got things to show that visually in class, but again, here with the video, we'll just have to move on where, again, we're going to talk about this shape all day today, a triangular prism. So you can use a net and take a look at, well, we've got the base here. The main shape is a triangle pushed all the way through. So you could find the area of the triangle and the other triangle, and then you could add to it the other rectangles, and that works great. That is one of our methods, just like our scale says down here, where we can use a net to solve. That will always work. For us, we're going to take a look, though, as well at the formula. Because it's a prism, it's the same formula. So when we talk about this, like we saw in our previous lesson, the big B is not just base. Please underline area of the base. Area of the base, again, the base is the main shape, which if you want to make a note, today that main shape is going to be a triangle. It's not always how it works, but that's how it works here. And then again, got the capital letter P because it's the perimeter of the base. And then that H, that's the height of the prism. So that's what you're going to see when we talk about the distance from the triangle in the front to the triangle in the back. The life hack, the other number we haven't used. Again, make the note in there that the height is just the distance between the bases. The distance, again, between the main shapes. Today, in this lesson, the main shape's going to be a triangle. Later on, we'll mix them all together, so we have to be aware of what type of shape we have. So let's take a look. Again, use the test to help you. Use the quiz, use the worksheet, use whatever it is, IXL. It says find the surface area of the triangular prism. So if you're not sure what this shape is, it told us straight away it's a triangular prism. Thus, since it's a prism, we're going to use this formula. Surface area equals 2 big B plus pH. That's our formula for any prism. Again, it's got 2 big B because there are 2 main shapes. There are 2 triangles. When you look at this shape over here, you can see there's a main shape. So there's a rectangle in here in front, but that is not the main shape. There's not a rectangle on the front and the back. They're not parallel. I'd be showing that visually in class, but can't do that here in the video. So the main shape that's pushed all the way through is this triangle. Highlighting it is optional, so if you'd like to do that, feel free to. But notice again, when we grab this triangle, there's a triangle on top. And on the bottom, on the opposite end, there's a shape just like it, a triangle just like it. So that is our main shape, a triangle pushed all the way through this prism, thus a triangular prism. Since it's the main shape, we're going to turn our focus to that. It's going to be all about this shape. It's all about this shape. It's no trouble. But since it's now a triangle, we need to find that big B. We need to find that area of the base. So we have to put in the formula for area of a triangle. Now remember, you can show it that way, or I have another video that shows it this way. Half times BH works just as well. I'm going to stick with BH divided by 2. That's little b, little h divided by 2, because that's what it seems like is most familiar for everybody. Key phrase here, little b, because we're talking about the base of the triangle. Another h here because we're talking about the height of the triangle. Please remember that when we're looking at that, this right angle here is our friend. The two sides that it touches is going to be the sides that we're going to use for the base and height of the triangle. So we're going to use 8 times 6, but because it's a triangle, we have to cut it in half. So mental math, calculator approved. That gets you 24. So we're going to keep that 2 with the formula because there are 2 of those triangles. And then from there, the area of the base, the area of the main shape, which we just found to be 24. And now somewhere we got to put down that letter P. You don't have to highlight the base, but it's super helpful because now we're going to go around the triangle. The triangle has 3 sides. Since there are 3 sides, everybody say 3. Did you say 3? I don't know if you did. But moving on, there are 3 sides. Because there are 3 sides in a triangle, we need 3 numbers. Notice again, we highlighted the 3 sides. This side is 8. This side is 6. They're on the outside, so we will use those. And now we need this side here. If it doesn't tell you how much that side is, look on the opposite end. That is 10. So you add that together. Mental math, calculator. Careful though, I double checked this before I made the video. If you don't get 24, if you get any number other than that, you're going to do great math and get that final answer wrong. So be very, very careful. Lots of rooms for little mistakes. From there then, what's the height? The height, life hack is, what's the other number we haven't used? 7. By definition, what is the height of the prism? What is the distance between the bases? What's the distance between the triangle on top and the triangle on bottom? You've got that. So again, in class, that's where I would tell us again, everything you see on the screen needs to be on your notes and on every problem. Here in class and on the video notes, I would mention that you type into your calculator. Try to use my calculators, the ones in class, as they will do PEMDAS for you. Other devices don't always do that. And be careful. Here in class is where I'd walk around and make sure we all type it in. This isn't a got you check. This is a make sure that after we've done all this work, we can still get the right answer, because just typing in this wrong is not the final result we want. We want to do all this work right. We want to type it into the calculator right. We want to get that right answer. So again, because we're dealing with surface area, that label is going to be centimeters squared. As a quick reminder, I'm going to go right here and mention it just this one time. The surface area formula is required. You need to show that. The area for the main shape, the base, in this case today a triangle, that's required. The work to find it, required. The work for perimeter, required. The work for surface area, for the answer and the label, all required, plus I'll give you a point for trying. So on a graded worksheet or a quiz, again, 8 points a problem. On a standardized, on a scale-aligned assessment though, we're only looking at the answer. So that's why we want to make sure after we've done all this work, we get that right answer. So again, don't need to know the name of the shape, but because it's a triangular prism, we're going to focus in on that main shape. Because again, the main shape pushed all the way through is a triangle. There's a triangle on the front and the back, or on opposite ends. It makes it a prism. So we're going to use our prism formula. Write it on in. That needs to be there. From there, then, again, we're going to focus in on the base, the main shape. It's all about that main shape. If you want to highlight it, it's all about this shape. We're going to focus in on that. You can highlight it if you want. If not, we're going to focus in on that because it's a triangle. We're going to find the area of that main shape of that base. Find the area of a triangle. Write down that formula. We're going to do again, that right angle is our friend. It touches the sides that we want. So we want this side, which is 4, and down here on the bottom, which is 3. So 3 times 4 divided by 2, mental math or a calculator allowed. That gets you your 6. So again, since there are 2 triangles, that's why there's a 2 in the formula. leave it there, put in the area of your base, which was 6. Then somewhere, put down that letter P. It doesn't matter, but again, it's a triangle. Since the triangle has 3 sides, there are going to be 3 numbers. Because our main shape, our base is a triangle with 3 sides, we need 3 numbers. Everybody say 3. Again, not sure if you said that, but here we go back to that highlight. You highlighted the perimeter. That's why I like that method. You highlighted this side, which is 3, plus this side, which is 4, plus this side right here, which is 5. That's where this 12 comes into play. We put that again, mental math or calculator. From there, find that height. Careful, this height, again, by definition, the distance between the bases. What is the height of the prism? What's the other number we haven't used yet? What's the distance from the triangle in the front to the triangle in the back? It's that 4. Again, take and use that calculator. Type this on in right here and make sure that you get that into the calculator correctly. As you've done that, again, in class I'd walk around to make sure we all got that, but here we go. We type that on in, you get 60, and again, the label is going to be squared because we're talking about the amount of space, the amount of area on a 2D, two-dimensional shape. All the work on the screen needs to be on your notes. It needs to be on every problem of our assignment. Also needs to be there on any worksheet that's graded or quiz or on the scale line assessment. A man is crafting a jewelry box shaped like a triangular prism. Oh, that's helpful again. So if we weren't familiar with it, go ahead and circle this up. Again, use what's in front of you to help you. It's a triangular prism. How much material does he need to make the jewelry box? So this is what we're going to just make the outside. We're going to make all the surfaces with it. That means we need the surface area of a prism, of a triangular prism. So bring back our formula. Again, today, it's very nice. Everything's a triangular prism. Same formula, same steps as before. Now we just focus in on our main shape as a triangle. If you want to highlight it, you can. You don't have to, but again, this is our main shape. The triangle is pushed all the way through it. There's a triangle on opposite ends, one on the front, one on the back. They're parallel bases. So from there, that's going to be our main shape. We're going to focus in on that. Everything we do is going to be all about that because it is a triangle. Here is the formula. There's no right angle. So if you wanted to write one in, it should be right here. If they don't give it to you, we can see right here going up and down. That would be the height of this base of the triangle, and it touches this other side down here. So we're going to take 21 times 20. Make sure you divide that by 2. Again, very careful. Don't forget to divide it by 2. And then we just plug that on in. That's where the 2 stays there from the 2 bases because there are 2 triangles. And then somewhere you got to put down perimeter. Go around the outside. So again, we highlighted it. That's 20. Great. This side is 29. Great. But do not use the 21. The 21's on the inside. On the perimeter, we want the outside numbers. So we want this side, which is not 21. If it doesn't tell you, go back to the back and see that. Again, writing that on in, carefully adding that on up. That'll get you 78. Again, be careful. I double checked that to make sure I got 78. I made sure because one little mistake, getting a different number here, just very slightly, a different number here, is going to change our final answer. We want to do all this work and get that correct answer. One last time, what's the height? What's the number we haven't used? What is the distance from the front to the back triangle? What's the distance between our bases? 31. In class, I'd make sure we could all type this on in. Again, you're typing this in right here to your calculator. Make sure you type it on in. Be careful that it's 2 times 210 plus 78 plus 31 times 31. Make sure we got the times in the right spot and the pluses in the correct spot. And that does get us 2,838 centimeters squared. Every label is squared right now because we're talking about surface area, the amount of space on a 2-dimensional object. Wherever this can fit on your paper, make sure all of this is there. It's all required and needed. Your assignment is not complete without it, and it will be missing points on a graded worksheet or assignment. So as you can see, when we're looking at it, that's why we've got it right here. We're finding of prisms, and we've got formulas, or you could just use that net and lay it flat. If you're going to do that, that's fine. Show me all that work, because we can do that. Otherwise, today, we're going to focus just in on triangular prisms and finding that. So it's nice that it's just one type of shape. But again, later on, we're going to pile them all together, whether in a review worksheet, in a quiz, review day, as well with your scale aligned assessment or your assessment. They're going to be piled in together. So we're going to have to know each step for each of these types of shapes.